The United States Grand Prix is shaping up to be a spectacle, not just because of the on-track action, but also because of the show of colors and designs the teams have lined up. In a brilliant move for nostalgic fans, Williams has rolled back the years and will hit the track in Austin with an incredible retro livery, celebrating its 2002 season. Who could forget the iconic duo of Juan Pablo Montoya and Ralf Schumacher piloting the FW24? That year, they took the team to second place in the World Championship, finishing only behind the dominant Ferraris of Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello. The new look, which we'll see on Alex Albon's and Carlos Sainz's cars, brings back the predominantly white design of that era, with details on the side pods and nose, plus a silver stripe that was a hallmark of the 2002 color scheme, all while keeping their current sponsors. The design was unveiled at a special event in Austin attended by Carlos Sainz and Mike Cannon-Brookes, the CEO of Atlassian, the team's title sponsor, which, interestingly enough, was also founded in 2002. Sainz was thrilled with the new look, saying the FW47 looks incredible and that he can't wait to drive it, believing it will be a fan favorite. But Williams isn't alone in this celebration of special liveries. Aston Martin has also decided to innovate and, for the first time since taking over the team, will feature a special livery honoring its title sponsor, Aramco. The design promises to make the science behind a Formula One car visible, displaying a series of science-related formulas. Racing Bulls is right there with them, arriving with a bold look inspired by a pearlescent black and amber tortoiseshell pattern, a partnership with Cash App and country star Shabuzi. McLaren will also sport tweaks to its livery for the US and Mexican Grand Prix, featuring an iridescent engine cover in tribute to Google's Gemini AI tool. Meanwhile, Alpine will run a revised layout with the yellow branding of the e-commerce firm Mercado Libre, which will be on the A525 not just in Austin, but also in Mexico and Brazil, something especially meaningful for driver Franco Colapinto, who is a brand ambassador. And, of course, Haas, racing at home, will also present a special design on the VF25. With so much new paint on the grid, the car parade at the Circuit of the Americas will be an event in itself. Now, with so many incredible liveries on the track, we want to hear from you. Which of these special designs did you like the most? The Williams nostalgia, Aston Martin's science theme, the boldness of Racing Bulls, or one of the others? Drop your comment down below, because your opinion is crucial for us. If you're new here and want to stay on top of everything happening in the world of Formula One with deep dive analysis like this, make sure to subscribe to Formula News USA and hit that notification bell. That way you won't miss a single detail. And of course, if you're enjoying the video, hit that like button to support us. We also want to know what city you're watching from so we can see how far our content is reaching. As a non-monetized channel, this interaction is everything. It signals to YouTube that our content is valuable, helping us reach more speed fanatics just like you. Moving away from the visual spectacle of the liveries and into the fight that truly matters, the one on the track, the focus shifts to McLaren. With the Constructors' Championship already secured in Singapore, all eyes are now on the internal battle between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris for the driver's title. And that battle got intense, very intense at the last Grand Prix. You surely saw the incident at Turn 2 in Marina Bay when Lando Norris forced his way up the inside of Piastri to snatch third place. The move, which resulted in a light touch, was enough to secure the Constructors' title with a third and fourth place finish, but it sparked a heated debate about the team's papaya rules. Those rules, in short, are a pact to not hit your teammate. Immediately after the incident, Piastri got on the radio, feeling the rules had been breached and wanting the position back. Now, with the Constructors' title in the bag, many wondered if McLaren would intervene to favor one driver in the title fight. Team principal Andrea Stella's answer was clear and direct: no. Stella confirmed that the papaya rules will remain in effect. He explained that the pursuit of the Drivers' Championship runs on a separate track from the Constructors' win. The principles guiding the internal competition, such as the team's best interest, fair racing, and sportsmanship, will continue to apply. In other words, McLaren will continue to let its drivers fight freely on the track, which, for us fans, guarantees more excitement. Currently, Piastri leads the fight by 22 points over Norris, and with 6 races left, including 3 sprints, there's a total of 174 points still up for grabs. This fight is wide open. However, McLaren's decision carries a huge risk. The biggest danger isn't just that they'll continue to take points from each other, but that this fierce battle could result in a collision, leaving them with a pointless weekend. And who would benefit from that? Max Verstappen. An incident between the two McLaren drivers could catapult Verstappen from a long shot to a real title contender. Looking at the season, the fight has been a roller coaster. Piastri started the year on fire, winning 4 of the first 6 Grand Prix. However, Lando Norris clawed his way back, especially after McLaren introduced a new front suspension. Norris has finished ahead of Piastri in 4 of the last 5 races. But it would be too simplistic to say the momentum is with him. The truth is, the two are extremely evenly matched, and every interaction between them on track can change the entire championship picture. The Singapore incident wasn't their first contact. Norris also initiated contact in Montreal that ended his race. The stats show this balance. In 21 races so far, 18 GPs and 3 sprints, Norris has finished ahead 11 times to Piastri's 10. This nearly even split perfectly illustrates how many points they've lost fighting each other. To give you an idea of what this internal battle means in terms of points, if a single McLaren driver had scored the team's best result in every race this year, they would now be sitting on an astonishing 409 points. With that score, the driver's title would be practically guaranteed. But that's not the reality. The fierce contest between Piastri and Norris, which provides us with a great show, also keeps the door open for external threats, and the main one has a first and last name: Max Verstappen. Red Bull's recent form, combined with the undisputed talent of the 4-time champion, creates a scenario of maximum tension for McLaren. And that open door for Max Verstappen, which we just mentioned, might be more dangerous than McLaren imagines, especially for Lando Norris. While the Woking-based team tries to manage its internal rivalry, Norris has gained an extra concern, and it comes in the form of a 4-time world champion who doesn't forget things easily. The warning is clear: you better watch out. This tension originates from what happened in qualifying for the Singapore Grand Prix. That Saturday, as a resurgent Red Bull was fighting for pole position, Lando Norris allegedly hindered Verstappen's flying lap in Q3. Max's engineer, Gianpiero Lambiase, was direct on the radio. "You can thank your mate for that. Hard luck." Norris was on a slow lap, heading back to the pits, when Verstappen, on his final attempt, caught up to him. The dirty air generated by the McLaren, even from a couple of seconds ahead, was enough, according to Red Bull, to compromise the RB21's downforce and cost them the pole, which went to George Russell by just 0.182 seconds. Verstappen's reaction after qualifying was a direct and ominous message, even without mentioning Norris by name. "That's what happens when there's a car in front of you just cruising 2 seconds ahead," Max said. "That's noted. It will be remembered as well." When asked who he was referring to, he was sarcastic: "Not Oscar." The technical explanation is simple. On a qualifying lap, at the absolute limit, any disturbance in the clean air reaching the car can destabilize braking and corner entry, costing precious tenths. Verstappen felt he lost downforce, causing him to go straight at one point. And he made it very clear that, in his view, it was done on purpose. The phrase "noted and remembered" sounds like a promise of payback, and when that promise comes from Max Verstappen, the entire grid pays attention. The next day, in the race, Verstappen held off Norris at the start and finished ahead of the Brit, but the feeling is that the story isn't over. So what does this mean for the title fight? It means Lando Norris, returning to the track in Austin, doesn't just have to worry about Oscar Piastri, 22 points ahead of him. He'll have to constantly check his mirrors for a Verstappen who may no longer have a realistic shot at the title, but who could become the ultimate kingmaker in this battle. Their friendship off the track is well known, but Verstappen has proven time and again that when the visor comes down, there are no friends. The on-track rivalry is intense. Who can forget their duels in Austria last season, where they even made contact, or the heated battles in Austin and Mexico? This season, with McLaren out front, their battles have been less frequent, but Monza was a clear example. Verstappen squeezed Norris onto the grass at the start and cut the first chicane to stay ahead. It was a clear message that he's not willing to make his mate's path to the championship any easier. And that was before the Singapore incident. Now, with that grudge held, the situation is even more explosive. Verstappen himself has said he has nothing to lose, and a driver with his talent and nothing to lose is the most dangerous scenario possible for McLaren. The next day, in the race, Verstappen held off Norris at the start and finished ahead of the Brit, but the feeling is that the story isn't over. So what does this mean for the title fight? It means Lando Norris, returning to the track in Austin, doesn't just have to worry about Oscar Piastri, 22 points ahead of him. He'll have to constantly check his mirrors for a Verstappen who may no longer have a realistic shot at the title, but who could become the ultimate kingmaker in this battle. Their friendship off the track is well known, but Verstappen has proven time and again that when the visor comes down, there are no friends. The on-track rivalry is intense. Who can forget their duels in Austria last season, where they even made contact, or the heated battles in Austin and Mexico? This season, with McLaren out front, their battles have been less frequent, but Monza was a clear example. Verstappen squeezed Norris onto the grass at the start and cut the first chicane to stay ahead. It was a clear message that he's not willing to make his mate's path to the championship any easier. And that was before the Singapore incident. Now, with that grudge held, the situation is even more explosive. Verstappen himself has said he has nothing to lose, and a driver with his talent and nothing to lose is the most dangerous scenario possible for McLaren. And this threat from Max Verstappen isn't just a matter of personal revenge. It's amplified by a crucial factor. Red Bull is back. The Milton Keynes team, which struggled in the middle part of the season with a series of lackluster results, has found a second wind and enjoyed a strong surge in performance in recent rounds, winning 2 of the last 3 races. Verstappen's recent form has brought him back into the conversation as a dangerous dark horse for the title. The 4-time champion, who was at one point 104 points behind the leader, has cut that deficit to just 63 points before the Austin weekend. This turnaround has been praised by experts like former F1 driver Johnny Herbert, who points to a clear reason for this improvement. The team started listening more to Max Verstappen's feedback. According to Herbert, there was a disconnect between the work of the simulator drivers back at the factory and what Max was feeling in the car. Now, by applying his suggestions more directly, they seem to have found the right path. Beyond the technical adjustments, Herbert highlights another fundamental change within Red Bull: the shift in leadership. The departure of Christian Horner and the arrival of Laurent Mekies as his team principal has reportedly created much better harmony. The relationship between Mekies and Verstappen is described as much closer than it was with Horner, who had an ongoing battle with Jos Verstappen, Max's father, which created a lot of negative energy. This positive change, as we've seen in the last couple of races, has put Red Bull back in the game. While it's not 100% certain they'll be competitive at every remaining track, recent performances show that the RB21 is a major threat, ready to take precious points away from the 2 McLaren drivers. For Lando and Oscar, this is the worst-case scenario. Just when the title fight should have been an internal affair, the fastest driver on the grid re-emerges with a competitive car. Max Verstappen himself arrives at the Circuit of the Americas confident but aware of the challenges. He acknowledged the positive step made in Singapore and stated that the team has been working hard at the factory, analyzing where they can improve to keep the momentum going. He describes Austin as a tricky circuit where you have to find the right setup compromise between straight-line speed and downforce for the fast corners on top of the bumps that always make things difficult. The fact that it's a sprint weekend makes everything even more challenging, with less time for fine-tuning. Verstappen's message to Red Bull was clear: they need to get on top of things quickly. The floor upgrade the team brought in Monza was crucial for their competitiveness in Singapore and should also have a positive impact at COTA, a track that just a few races ago would have been considered comfortable McLaren territory. Now, the game has changed. With a dominant Constructors' Championship, the driver's title should be a foregone conclusion for McLaren, but the reality is very different. The internal rivalry, the resurgence of Red Bull, and a motivated Max Verstappen with nothing to lose have created the perfect storm. Every point will be fought for fiercely, and any mistake, whether on the track or in strategy, could be fatal. And now, we want to hear from you. Who comes out on top in this final stretch? Will McLaren manage its drivers and secure the title, or will Max Verstappen pull off the impossible? Leave your final prediction in the comments. And if you felt all the excitement of this battle and want to give us a boost, use the hype button below. That simple click massively helps our channel get noticed by the algorithm. Don't forget to also hit the like button, subscribe to Formula News USA if you haven't already, and share this video with a friend who never misses a race. Before we sign off, we want to say thank you for being here. As a channel that isn't monetized, our growth and our ability to keep making content like this depends entirely on you, our community. Every subscription, every like, and every single comment is a vote of confidence. It tells us we're on the right track and fuels our passion to bring you more in-depth F1 analysis. Your engagement is the single most important way to support the channel, and it truly makes all the difference. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.